So let's talk about now setting a goal. Generally speaking, we have a few questions that we ask. If you were to come into my office and we're beginning a process of devising an investment strategy for you, I would ask you lots and lots and lots of questions. So what are the types of questions that you need to think about first when you're thinking long-term planning and investment? The first question that you want to ask is, what are you saving for? Lots of times people will say, well, I just want to save some money, and I just, something down the road there. But really, what are you saving for? You will do better in meeting your goal if you have a concrete goal. So it may be you're saving for retirement, it may be that you're saving for college education, or it may be something like a home purchase. But it's very good to have in mind what it is that you're saving for. And of course, you're probably going to be saving for more than one thing at a time. Retirement seems to go on. We save for retirement all of our working life. College education also takes quite a bit of time, etc. The second question to ask is, what is your time frame? This is a very important question. Sometimes it's very easy to know. For example, if you have a 3-year-old child and you're saving for college education, that he will start when he's 18, well, you have 15 years. That's your time frame. So that's very simple. But if you're 40 years old and you're thinking, well, I'll retire 60, 65, 70, I'm not sure, that's a little bit less clear. So there what we like to do is to say, when would you like to be financially able to retire? In my own case, I'll tell you that I personally, way too many years ago, when I started planning for retirement, said, I want to be able to retire at 60. Now, I'm getting close to 60 now, and I don't really want to retire now. But when I was 40, I thought, well, let's set things up so that I will be able to retire at 60 if I want to. And that's the kind of freedom that we've all been talking about here today. The time frame is also very, very important because it's going to tell you how much you need to save on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis or a yearly basis in order to meet your goal. It's also going to help to tell you how aggressive you can afford to be or how conservative you need to be. So time frame, you do the best you can in putting a time frame on your goal. The next thing that you need to ask yourself is, how much money is going to be required to meet this goal? Now, that seems like a very vague thing, but in fact, it's really not that hard to figure out. And sometimes it's very, very easy. For example, let's go back to the 3-year-old child in college education. If you have a 3-year-old child, you have 15 years, and we know that college education is expensive. Any good financial advisor can run a calculation for you, and in fact, these are available on the web, and I'm going to show you a website here in a moment. But there is, it's not even software, it's just a little financial calculator that you can go into, and you plug in numbers like this. It'll say, how old is your child? 3. When will he start school? 18. Where will he go to school? These calculators actually, you can put in any school's name, and it'll show you what the cost of that is right now. It doesn't you don't have to know where the child's going to go to school. You can ask for the average public education or the average private school. But let's say I want my child to go to my alma mater, which is the University of Wisconsin at Madison. So we plug that in, and up on the screen it shows you what that costs right now. Then it will ask you to estimate what you think that cost is going to inflate at over those 15 years. That's a little bit of an assumption, but let's say you say 4%. And then you hit the button and it tells you what college will cost for that child in 15 years at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, assuming a rate of inflation that you've assumed. Now, when you regain consciousness, because you will pass right out, it's very, very startling. The numbers will scare you to death. But the next number that it shows you is how much you need to save every month to meet that goal. And of course, these calculators assume the very best possible world. So it'll assume that when your child is 18, you have all the money you're going to need for 4 years of education. Well, as a practical matter, that's probably not how it will work out. But the important thing is to get started, to get started, to get started.